What's up everyone, Jason here. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about something I hear a lot of from potential clients, and it's really for DJs. So if you're a wedding DJ and you're looking to elevate your performances and your game, you need to be mindful of what people are experiencing when they are out at other weddings, other events. And if there's something that you do that is different, you need to focus in and double down on that. You need to share what it is and how it is you do what you do. That will basically amplify your opportunity in a lot of different ways. One of the most common things that we get talked about from our couples or potential couples is how they experience DJs, people that do what I do at weddings, and how people overuse the microphone. They MC too much. They're constantly talking. They're not funny. They're not part of the party. They're not charismatic. And it just comes off as cheesy, as cringy, and it's something that they don't want. So I myself am not someone that overuses the microphone. People might think I talk a ton, but at an event, if you see my videos, you might realize that I don't really talk much outside of introductions. And when there's a purpose to achieve something, to provide direction, or to get people to respond, to react, or to create a moment, I try to speak with intention. I try to speak with purpose. That's my style, that's my flow, and it's how I work. And I've done a lifetime's worth of work to show people that that recipe can work and is dope and can help people celebrate, especially couples today, celebrate in style in a way that they want to. So how do I address this, and what are some, things to think about? So first and foremost, I think if you are a wedding DJ, think about what you're going to say and how you're going to say it before you arrive on site to an event. Practice this stuff. Run through raps, run through delivery, run through timing, run through wordsmithing and wording, just so you get your stuff together. That's number one. Practice this stuff. Make it be almost like second nature. If you've seen some of my introduction videos, you see that I generally say roundabout the same thing in different ways every time I do an event. If you've watched my live mix videos, you see that when I interact with a crowd, it's to achieve something. It's to shift direction. It's to move people a different way. It's to create a moment that the photographer, cinematographer can capture to create an epic, snapshot or video clip of that moment. And I think that's the idea. I don't want to talk. I think that's tired in our world of private events and weddings specifically. And I know that that is the lane for some people. Some people are really, really good at it, but more often than not, people are not super good at it and they think they are, and that hurts them. I'm saying it not to throw shade. I'm saying it to be very candid and very direct. And if you're struggling with your bookings, you're struggling with the content, people are not responding to your content, that might be one thing that's pushing people further away from you than pulling them into you. So I wrote down some other notes of things that I think could be important for people. Using the mic for key moments and to set something up with purpose, with intention is number one. I think practicing before you arrive on site to go through just raps and things that you can say, different ways to say the same thing in creative ways. Wordsmithing is really another thing that is really cool. Instead of calling people bride and groom or saying ladies and gentlemen or family and friends or whatever it is, think of other descriptives that you can use. And if you've got some that you use, I'd love for you to share with our community here in the comments underneath this video. So hook me up, hook everyone up, and share some of the things that you do that differentiate how you deliver your services in a different way, how you title things a different way. I'm a big fan of using couples' names wherever possible. I'm a big fan of calling out members of the wedding party wherever possible. I do lean on certain things like bride and groom at certain times, but I'm very, very meticulous and very, very selective on how I use titles and descriptives when I work. I try not to overdo it. I try not to underdo it. I try to make it feel just right. In the end, I want to come off super authentic, super polished, and I want to come off connected to the couple in a positive way, a friendly way. Another thing is your delivery. I think your tone really matters. And one of the things that I've spent a lot of time in is developing my wedding introduction rap. And I have a downloadable document you can grab in the description of this video, Wedding Introductions Like a Boss. It's basically my formula on how I create amazing introductions for couples that I work with, how I get to know them, questions I ask them, and how I deliver the tone. I even give examples of my worksheets and all that kind of stuff. I think having a hardcore plan and discussing your plan, how you work with crowds, how you work with couples, how you work as a DJ, as an MC is super important. And number four here is actually take the time to have that conversation in the planning phase before you arrive on site to someone's event. Think about how you do what you do and make sure that you're including that descriptive to the couple so that you set up proper expectations and that you can communicate why it is that that you do what you do, how it is that you do what you do, so they understand it before you arrive on site to someone's event. I always like to ask, what energy level do you want us to perform at? Tonight, here at this wedding, they want a number 8. So I might be a little bit more vocal on the mic than I normally would be, because I'd say typically I fly in at like a 5 or a 6, but most of that is in the introduction phase and for the moments. I like to interject and I like to insert myself when there's a point to do it, but I try not to do it overly too much over the course of a wedding. I don't announce the names of songs. I don't sing on the microphone. I don't do little effects with my voice. I don't, do a little whatever. Every once in a while, I get people to put their hands up, clap their hands, do this, jump up and down. When this beat drops, we're all going to jump. 1, 2, 3, jump. I do a lot of that kind of stuff, but I try not to overdo it. I try to pace it out and have the cadence make sense so it's not constantly talking. I think another thing in this whole conversation is using the tools that you have access to. So having good microphones, knowing how to duck music properly, and using platforms like Stems and Serato to isolate the vocal in a track and to remove the vocal in a track, so that when you get on the microphone, if you dip the music or you remove the vocal, the conflicting frequencies, it's a lot easier to understand. I think if you're mindful of your delivery and you're looking at what people are doing when you're speaking to them, it lets you know if you're connecting with them or not. Sometimes if people can't hear you, I went to a concert last night, the opening act, it was so busy, the music, you couldn't even understand his wording. And I think a lot of wedding DJs go through that at different points in time. I went to a wedding that was actually hosted by our team at SCE, and it was an excellent wedding and it ended up being incredible. But the one piece of constructive criticism I had is when the introductions start, the DJ, and I'm not going to talk about who it was, they actually went into the introductions without owning the room, without captivating the room, without capturing everyone's attention before they proceeded. And I thought it was a great introduction, but I think the first 30 seconds of it almost got lost in the sauce because people were in the middle of conversations, they weren't really paying attention, and then all of a sudden we're setting up these moments where people are coming in the room. Now that's one conversation to say, hey, maybe think about doing this way, but I think it goes along with this conversation. If you duck the music in terms of volume level, or you use some of the tools like Serato Stems and isolate and remove the vocal from the track when you're speaking, same thing you would do with like a musician, it'll allow your voice to almost sit on top of the music and it will be understandable and digestible by the people that are on site at an event. These are a couple of tips I think that anyone could put into play right away to help improve their wedding DJ service game and improve, I guess, the cadence and just the abusing of MC work at a wedding. Now, there are people that are like to be on the mic all the time, and if that's your lane, please disregard this whole video. But if you are struggling, if you feel like maybe things could be different for you, or you feel like maybe not super comfortable constantly being on the mic, you see people are maybe like reacting, or maybe you're getting negative feedback, take these things into consideration and try to incorporate them into your flow to help make your wedding game incredibly better. If you do that, I promise it'll help you so much. Now, this is the stuff that I've done for myself and for some of my team members at SCE that have wanted to elevate and are not really people that want to be like on the dance floor, on the microphone and whatever. Now, I think it is very important to have a strong mic game. I think it is equally as important to know when to interject, when to use your mic game, and how to use your mic game. And I want to leave you with that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel me or not, I want to hear from you in the comments down below. Descriptives that you use that are different, that are creative, that help break things up. I want to hear from you in the comments down below. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Be on the lookout for more content. We're coming right here to the channel in these weeks and months ahead. And be on the lookout for the video from tonight's wedding. We're out in like the middle of PA and we're going to crush this wedding. Anyway, look forward to hearing from you in the comments and be on the lookout for more content coming right here to this channel in the days, weeks, and months ahead. Thanks for watching.